Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Here's your meme of the day, brought to you by 5mind.com. Alright, so there it is. Chuck Schumer blinks and tosses out a deal. All of a sudden, Schumer has an offer for the GOP to work towards ending this shutdown. And his little deal here is to re-enable SNAP benefits while keeping the government shut down, while keeping the people hostage. If we didn't already have evidence that this whole thing is bad faith and Chuck Schumer is a terrible person, well then here it is. This is the most transparent damage control play that you will ever see. The Democrats have essentially spent the last couple of weeks bragging that pain is their leverage, but now that the pain that they're causing is backfiring on them, all of a sudden they want Republicans to bail them out from this position that they've taken. What happened? I thought pain was your leverage, but now you want to ease the pain. And again, without reopening government. I am just so utterly confused, I don't even understand the angle anymore. It just feels like desperate flailing. They're doing whatever, I'm sure behind the scenes they think they're brilliant. Oh, here's what we're gonna do in response to all the negative press. Oh, this will definitely put pressure on the GOP. I don't know, these people need to go back to negotiation school. They need to read The Art of the Deal, because this is possibly the dumbest move Chuck Schumer has made yet. Let me show you guys the latest offer from Chuck Schumer. And of course, let's continue decimating all these Democrat talking points and stances. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so take a look at this Chuck Schumer offer. He's extending an offer to the GOP.
Where are the Republicans? As people are losing their health care and have huge pain and pits in their stomach about what to do about it, where kids are not getting fed, Trump's out of the country, House Republicans are out on vacation, Senate Republicans are out to lunch. And every day the shutdown drags on, the pain is deeper. So it's time for Republicans to get serious about ending the shutdown. So today, Democrats will introduce a bill that would extend the SNAP funding and WIC to make sure no child goes hungry, no family goes without food, no lapse will happen. And it will get broad, if not universal, support in our caucus, and we will try to get it passed on the floor. We will try to get it passed on the floor. Bottom line, it's time for Republicans to start getting serious about ending this shutdown before families lose their health care, their food, and their faith that the president, that leaders will deliver for them.
You see how he's framing it, right? Suddenly he's Mr. Compassion, pleading about helping the families. Ooh, what happened to pain is your leverage? Now all of a sudden you want to be Santa Claus, right? Oh, let's give all the people their SNAP benefits while maintaining the shutdown. Why would anybody agree to that? So you can pretend you're freaking Oprah Winfrey? Go to all your little leftist minions who don't want to work? And of course, some people who actually deserve these government benefits and entitlements. So you can go to those people and say, "Ooh, look at me, I'm Santa Claus. Look what I'm doing for you." You take something away and now want to give it back. Give back the crumbs. This absolute clown, and he also has the gall to say that it's time for Republicans to get serious about reopening the government. What a monumental loser. Time for Republicans to get serious about reopening the government? You're the one keeping it closed. Republicans have been voting daily to reopen the government. You even got 3 Democrats who are doing the same thing, who are voting against you. And now, of course, as everything has gone sour, you guys want a little line of relief here, so you can claim it's a humanitarian win. Another publicity stunt. The No Kings rally didn't work, and so now it's this. The whole reframing on this situation is so utterly despicable, and again, telling as to who the Democrats are. And it's not just the politicians, it's their mouthpieces as well, like Kyle Kulinski. Here he is quote tweeting an article from The Hill. The headline reads, "Senate Democrats block government funding bill for the 13th time," which is objective fact. And he responds by saying, "Breaking, Senate Democrats block your healthcare premiums from tripling for the 13th time. Would be a much better headline than this low IQ horseshit." Yeah, the Hill article that's stating an objective fact, that's the low IQ horseshit. Really, it's about the GOP trying to triple your healthcare premiums. First of all, the expiration date on the Obamacare subsidies was signed into law by Democrats to end in 2026, which really makes you think this whole thing was orchestrated before the fact. So Democrats are to blame for that policy expiring during a midterm, by the way. Secondly, we're still 2025. There's all kinds of time to continue those subsidies. It's almost as if the Democrats want to convince their voters that the moment this government shutdown happens, all of a sudden, healthcare premiums are going to multiply by 1 trillion quintillion. That's not what's happening. It's not that urgent. And again, the shutdown has nothing to do with that. They're pushing fear-mongering and panic. Republicans have shown willingness to negotiate that particular issue. You just have to open government to do so. In other words, the only people who are stopping possible legislation to affect those premiums are the Democrats, not Republicans. The only low IQ horseshit here is coming out of Kyle Kulinski's mouth. And again, if your ideas and your policy stances are so supported by the American people, if you're fighting for something that's so righteous, then reopen the government and pass it during sunlight. Anything else would be a ransom payment at this point. And the GOP should not cave, because the strategy here, again, they're desperate for a headline, just so they can say that the shutdown was worth it. You cannot give that to them. That would be the worst type of political enabling, to enable the Democrats to continuously do this stuff every time they don't get what they want. It's nothing but manipulations and lies. And actually, speaking of manipulations, not just the words coming out of Chuck Schumer's mouth during that little press conference, but also the sign that he's standing next to. They rolled out this little sign next to Schumer that reads, "The president's top priority is the White House ballroom construction," as if President Trump doesn't care about reopening the government, doesn't care about the people. No, he's just focused on the ballroom, and they're saying that based on a quote from Caroline Leavitt. But of course, this quote is misrepresented, taken out of context and edited. You know, like the Democrats always do. Another very fine people hoax. And actually, in this case, it's so utterly dishonest, the framing is so manipulative, that even CNN's own Caitlin Collins fact-checked Jasmine Crockett on the exact issue when she tried to push it on air.
Do you believe this will be the week that Congress comes to an agreement here?
I have no idea. I mean, you started off talking about the fact that the president is in Japan. The president has time to do everything but what he needs to focus on. In fact, we heard the press secretary say that his main priority is the ballroom that no one asked for, the ballroom that requires him to destroy historic pieces of the White House. And so it doesn't seem like he's interested.
And that context of the comment from Caroline Leavitt, she was asked if the president was working on any other renovations when it came to the White House, and she was saying his focus was the ballroom. But to your point about what the president said.
Exactly. The quote was about ongoing renovation work at the White House. President Trump is focused particularly on the ballroom in respect to that. But it's the same dishonest pattern here, right? Cherry pick, crop the quote, and then build this whole bogus narrative. At first it was, oh, he's paying for the ballroom with taxpayer funds. Meanwhile, the government shut down. That was a lie. But obviously that didn't work. And so now it's this. Moving the goalpost. Move to the next dishonest claim. At first it was the $1.5 trillion in spending. Then it was healthcare for illegals. Then it was healthcare premiums. Then it was, oh, we just want $20 billion. Now it's, oh, we want to give SNAP benefits. But Republicans aren't serious about reopening the government. Just reopen the damn government. No little SNAP carve-out gambits here. You obviously just want to force a vote on that so Republicans can vote against it, and then you could say, look, see, the Republicans are taking away your SNAP. Or if Republicans cave and pass it, you could say, look at what we got. Now we can reopen the government. Stop with the emotional manipulation like this from Bernie Sanders. Holy moly, has Bernie Sanders really sullied himself over the years.
We are here today to send a very loud and a very clear message to President Trump. Obey the law. I know that's a hard concept for the president, but obey the law. Do what Congress mandated you do. Do not let children in America and their parents and grandchildren go hungry. Do not go down as the first president in history to manufacture a hunger crisis in the richest country on earth. Release these funds. Now, the good news is there are at least 11 Republicans in the Senate who are supporting a bipartisan bill to ensure that no one in America goes without the nutrition assistance they need during the shutdown. And that is very good news, and I thank those 11 Republicans. Every Democrat supports that bill as well.
Don't go down as the first president to manufacture a hunger crisis. As if Trump is doing that. No, that is you. Open the government and SNAP funds continue at current spending levels. The The only people who are manufacturing hardship are the people who claim that the pain they're causing here is their leverage. Everything with these Democrats is some sort of disgusting play or little slogan, some misrepresentation that they plaster on their frickin' posters. But again, all of it, I think, really tells one story. They are getting desperate. They're trying to do anything to salvage this situation. But honestly, I'm thinking there is no salvation here. I don't think the GOP is going to play their game. Why should they? They're in a position of power. They're on the right side. Democrats are the ones cratering. It's already been, 3 weeks? Probably even longer? The damage has already been done. The Democrats made their bed. Now make them sleep in it. Then comes the Democrats, at least the ones with a little bit of integrity, turning against the party, reopening this government, and Schumer's plan falling flat on its face. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.